You have done an amazing job for your client. They are happy, so ecstatic about you, and you know that they know others who would make a good referral for you, who would be a great client for you. And you're wondering, how do I ask for the referral from a client? And especially not get that no. And in today's video, we are going to explore just that. First, we're going to explore why people don't ask for referrals and how we can overcome that. Second, if you get a no when you're asking for referrals, you're doing it wrong. And so we're going to explore the right way to do it. Our third conversation that we're going to have is when is the right time to ask and the wrong time to ask. The last thing that we're going to talk about in this conversation is how to make it easy once you get those referrals in order to be able to have that actually happen. No more of this, here's a name and number, let me go cold call them. We're going to take it up a notch. And as a bonus, here's the thing. Clients aren't necessarily even your best referral sources. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about a referral source that's even better than your clients. Most people are uncomfortable asking for referrals, and there's a couple reasons why. Sometimes it's because we're not at the right point in the relationship, and so it does feel uncomfortable, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later in today's video. Some people feel like it's a little bit salesy. And if you say, do you know anybody that needs my product or service, then that does come off a little salesy. Though the way to ask, which we'll cover in our next point, doesn't nearly as much. It actually comes off more of a helping attitude. And I'm really a big believer in we should be open to receiving help because most of us love to give help. Not as many of us like to get it, but if you don't open yourself up to receive that help, then you're stopping other people from being able to get that joy that they have on the helping. So I think if you're uncomfortable because it feels salesy, the next point will help. The main reason the majority of people don't like asking for referrals is because they're afraid they're going to get a no. And if you ask for referrals and you get a no, you're doing it wrong. And that actually leads me to my second point in today's video, and that's how to ask. Most people say, do you know anybody that needs my product or service? And there's two things wrong with that sentence. The first is how you're asking. Do you know anybody? The human mind has a lot of things going on, and it's tired sometimes. And so if you say, do you know, the human mind is like, do I go search for it? Or it's just easy to say no. And so it says no. And so instead of saying, do you know, you want to replace that with, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who? That's going to be the phrase that replaces it. Now, the second part of what's wrong with this is that needs my product or service. What you're doing here is telling the person you're talking to, your client, hey, I don't exactly know who needs my product or service, so it's up to you to figure it out. I know that's not what you're actually saying, but that's what's happening in their head. And so you really want to think of a specific referral request when you're asking for the referrals. If you're looking for the gal, red hair, braids, pigtails, freckles, polka dotted dress, fishnet stockings, patent leather, high heel shoes, then tell us that's whom you're looking for. You may have a crazy picture in your mind of this gal. I get it, fictitious. However, sometimes I get, oh, that's the windy chick, or an adult Pippi Longstocking, Cyndi Lauper. When we be specific, the human mind can go from really specific and work its way out, but it can't go from really generic and work its way in. We actually have a gentleman, Larry, that funny story. So Larry shared, hey, he's looking, who do you know who is a car dealership? And his client and fellow networking member and cousin had a referral for him that never had crossed her mind before until he was specific with his referral request. And so I think it's really important for us to be specific when we're asking for our referrals from our clients, thinking about who might they know and go along with that. I might say, who do you know who owns a business in the trades like the construction, plumbing, air conditioning, and wants to play more golf versus being stuck in the office? Does that put somebody in your mind? That's the goal, is we want to have that specificity to make it easy for people to identify who would be an amazing referral for us. So when is the right time to ask for referrals? Because it's not always. There is such a thing as premature solicitation, and that's when you ask too early on in the process. If I'm sitting down with you and we're having a prospect meeting for the very first time, do I want to ask for referrals? Not yet. When we're signing the contract, still might be too early. To me, you want to make sure that your client is happy, that they've got some part of a deliverable, whether it's your product or service, and they're experiencing it. And then you can ask, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who? You don't want to do it too early in the process, especially if your process is painful. You know, if you're getting a kitchen remodel, Jason Avery of Constructing Success talks about how, you know, when they're spending the time redesigning the kitchen, it's not the best feeling. He wants his clients in the kitchen. They have like the grand reveal. And then a couple weeks later, he actually has somebody on his team deliver a gift. And that's the perfect time for them to ask for referrals because they found that they're happy, they've experienced it for a couple weeks, and they're ready to refer. You've asked for the referral. They know the perfect person for you. What do we do now? Do you have them give you their name and phone number and you call them? No. Why would we do that? Essentially, it's just a cold call with, hey, this person told me to call you. What I recommend doing is having a conversation with your client about, hey, would you be open to creating an introduction on my behalf to Susie Q? And it's going to be up to you on how you prefer to be referred. Is it, will you give them a call to schedule an appointment? Is it, will you get permission for me to call? Will you send a letter on my behalf? Create a text with the three of us? Send an email out? Talk to them about how you want to create that referral. Now, my goal is always to make it super easy for my clients to pass me referrals. And so I have email scripts. I guess email script's the right way to put it. But I have emails, and so if somebody wants to refer me to another speaking engagement, all they have to do is cut and paste and send it the email. They want to first refer somebody to me to come out to take the Ignite Your Business program. I have that. They can cut and paste it and send it on over. Could you have a text that's written? And I'm not going to say that people have to use exactly the way that you've written it. They could make an edit here or there. However, it makes it easy for them, and that's the key of the game. We want to find that easy button and make it super easy for people to refer you business all day, every day. If it takes them a lot of work, they're probably not going to want to refer you again. If it's super easy and they see all the people in their world being happy by your product or service, more referrals will probably come your way. And speaking of more referrals, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there's actually a referral source that I find is better than your clients. Now, I understand most people are like, well, my clients have seen the product or service, they know what I offer, they know how I work, so they're going to be the best referral source. And while I think your clients are an amazing referral source, there's one even better. And we call those your contact sphere relationships. Some people call this your circle of influence. Some people call this your sphere of influence. Whatever you want to call it, your contact sphere relationships are non-competing industries with the exact same target market. And so if we think about our clients who maybe know a dozen or so people like them in any situation, like I can tell you, here are the half a dozen people that live in my neighborhood. My husband could probably tell you more, but that's whom I know. I could tell you, here are the dozen people that I know in the Tampa Bay area that like to ice skate. I can tell you, here's the 4 people that I know in the area that I do yoga with on a consistent basis. So, it's not that I only know a dozen or so people. It's just that in those certain aspects, the different points in my life, I may not know as many. Whereas your contact sphere relationships, your non-competing industry with the same target market, they may have thousands or hundreds of current and past clients. They've got a lot more people that they can pull from to refer you. Plus, if they're entrepreneurial, whether in spirit or in business, they have that hope of reciprocity of you refer me and I refer you. And so contact sphere relationships to me are the best referral sources, even better than clients. And if you want more information on that, I encourage you to enroll in my free program. It's called MORE Referrals, 5 Steps to Referral Success. I'll put the link in the comments or the description below so you have that. Come on over, and we spend, step 2 is actually all about contact sphere. So if you're not sure what profession would be right to pass you all those referrals, as well as we get more in depth in this conversation on how to ask for referrals, including utilizing social media to make that happen. Now you know how to ask for referrals from your clients. So get out there, ask in the comments below. Please let us know how it went. And remember, as with anything that we do, the first time, the second time, heck, even the 10th or 20th time may be a little bit awkward. We have to practice it. And so each time it's going to get better. And eventually it's going to be second nature to say, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who? Thank you so very much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to get updates when we have new content coming out. And I love when you like and comment below. Let us know how you're going to use today's information.